Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a sport that, for many, is a bit of a mystery, but on the world stage, it's an absolute giant. We're going to unpack the incredible phenomenon of cricket with a few key facts that I think will give you a totally new appreciation for the game. So, let's get right into it.
But first, let me kick things off with a question for you. I think we all know that football, or soccer, is number one. But what sport comes in at number two? Just take a second to think about it. The answer might actually surprise you.
Well, if you guessed cricket, you are absolutely right, and that's what our first section is all about. We're going to explore just how massive this game really is, and why so many people around the globe are completely captivated by it.
Yep, you're seeing that right. Cricket is the answer, with an estimated 2.5 billion fans. I mean, just let that number sink in for a minute. That's nearly a third of the entire planet's population. It's a truly staggering figure that shows you the immense reach of this game.
But here's the thing. That huge fan base isn't just thinly spread out across the world. No, the passion is incredibly deep and really concentrated in Commonwealth countries. We're talking especially about India and Pakistan, but also its birthplace, England, and of course Australia. In these places, cricket isn't just a sport. It's woven into the very fabric of the culture.
And believe me, this isn't some new fad. Cricket has this incredibly rich history that stretches back more than 400 years. The very first recorded match was played way back in 1646 in England. From there, it spread out across the world, evolving over centuries into the modern global game that we see today.
And if you want an easy way to get a handle on its importance today, just think of it like this. You know how soccer has the FIFA World Cup? Well, cricket has its own pinnacle event, the Cricket World Cup, and it's also held every 4 years. It's this massive tournament that grabs the attention of billions and really showcases the sport at its absolute highest level.
All right, let's switch gears a bit, because cricket is truly a game of fascinating extremes. In this next part, we're going to look at some records that are, frankly, almost hard to believe.
Okay, get this. The longest cricket match in history went on for 14 days. Seriously, this was back in 1939, a match between England and South Africa. It just goes to show you a side of cricket that values unbelievable stamina and mental endurance above pretty much everything else.
And that really illustrates the two different souls of the sport. See, on one hand, you've got Test cricket. That's the traditional format. It's a strategic 5-day marathon. But on the other hand, you have the modern explosive T20 format, which is basically a 3-hour sprint designed for pure, non-stop action.
But don't let those super long matches fool you. While cricket can definitely be a marathon, the individual moments within the game happen at absolutely breathtaking speeds. It's really a game of intense patience, punctuated by moments of raw, explosive power.
And if you need proof, just look at this number. The fastest ball ever bowled in cricket was clocked at an incredible 161.3 kilometers per hour. Now, for our viewers in the US, that's just a shade over 100 miles per hour. That's actually faster than a typical baseball pitch, and the batter has just a fraction of a second to react.
Okay, so we've seen the massive scale, and we've seen the wild extremes. Now let's get into some of the nuts and bolts. This section is all about understanding a few of the unique mechanics that really make the game tick.
So, as we just touched on, there are three main formats. You have the epic 5-day test matches, then there's the 1-day format, which, you guessed it, is all done in a single day, and finally, the fast and furious T20 format that wraps up in about 3 hours. Now, the key thing to know is that the core rules are the same, but the strategy, well, the strategy completely changes depending on how much time you have.
Now, here's a key piece of vocab you absolutely need to know. The over. It's simple, really. An over is just a set of 6 legal pitches or deliveries thrown by one bowler from one end of the field. After those 6 balls, the game pauses for a second. The bowling switches to the other end, and a different player bowls the next over. This structure creates the whole rhythm of the game.
And speaking of the ball, here's a fact that might surprise you. That hard, leather cricket ball is incredibly durable. So durable, in fact, that in the longer formats, a single ball can be used for up to 80 overs. That's 480 deliveries. And the wear and tear on that ball over time is actually a huge part of the strategy, because an older, scuffed-up ball behaves way differently, giving a big advantage to the bowlers.
Cricket is also a game full of specialists, and none is more unique than the wicketkeeper. This is the player who crouches right behind the batter, kind of like a catcher in baseball. And here's the kicker. They are the only fielder on the entire team who's allowed to wear protective gloves and leg guards. It's an incredibly demanding and important position.
All right, for our last section, let's step away from the rules and the records for a second. Because what makes cricket so special to billions of people are the quirky traditions and cultural bits and pieces that really define its character.
And honestly, what could be more characteristic of cricket than this? In England, where the sport was born, it's a long-standing tradition to literally stop the game for a tea break. And this happens even at the highest professional level. It's just a wonderful little nod to the game's deep cultural roots.
The sport is also played on stages that are wildly different in size. The smallest international ground is Eden Park in New Zealand, which creates this really intimate, close-up atmosphere. And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have the absolutely colossal Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia, which can hold over 100,000 fans.
So, let's do a quick recap of our journey. We've seen that cricket is a global powerhouse with billions of fans. It's a sport of incredible extremes, right? From 14-day marathons to 100-mile-per-hour sprints. We've learned about its core formats and some of its unique rules. And finally, we've gotten a little glimpse of the charming traditions that make it so much more than just a game.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. Cricket is often seen as this really complex, confusing sport with its different formats and weird rules. But maybe, could that complexity, its deep history, its strategic depth, its blend of marathon and sprint, could that actually be its greatest strength? The very thing that captivates a third of the world? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.